Sanjay, thank you so much for the opportunity. We are a trade publication and we explore a lot of interaction with your brand. And now I'm connecting with you. I have interviewed Prasad sir also. So this is a good chance to know more about. So how are you feeling today? It's the second day.
Yes.
I can see a lot of partners are walking.
Yes.
So what is your first reaction?
This is so what we have brought here is a very unique proposition. Usually in the AI space, when we look at it, there are people who do hardware and there are people who do the AI orchestration or the software component of it. But there is no assimilation of these two components. So what we have tried to do here is we have our own patented technology that we work with for extending the GPU's memory onto NVMe, essentially reducing the cost of any AI deployment. That is the goal. But that alone does not enable a customer always. You always need, end of the day, it's a component. So you need a server it goes into, a rack that goes into, a data center infra that it needs. So we have worked with Indian partners and we have brought in an ecosystem now where it is a one-stop, we are calling it a one-stop AI shop, where any AI deployment in the spectrum, be it a single workstation setup or if you want to do a rack scalable, multi-rack setup, we have it all covered under this one roof behind me. Yes.
So I can see the leading partner's name has been Techno, Comprint and Zipbook.
Yeah.
So few of them are very popular.
Yeah.
So you have got a good kind of partnership here.
Yes. We have managed to bring in very excellent partners who are gracefully working with us. So Techno here brings in the data center infrastructure. Comprint is bringing in the hardware, the server, the GPU compute infrastructure. Ziploc brings in the orchestration layer, wherein if you want to set up a private cloud, you want to spin out containers, the technical orchestration part of it is taken care of by Ziploc Computational. And MiPhi obviously brings in our adaptive technology because that is how we actually reduce the cost for the end customer. So end of the day, all we're trying to do is bringing sovereign AI, making sovereign AI truly Indian. These are 4 Indian companies who have all R&D teams in India working together, collaborating to make sure that the AI infrastructure that we're building for the country today stays truly Indian.
That's the your true claim you are making, because sovereign AI is our dream. Everything should reside in India, and you guys are working into that direction. Tell me something about how the technology is moving faster. There are a lot of discussion going on when it comes to data center cooling issues, power consumption. So how MiPhi is taking care of that?
Understood. So power, like you said, is a big constraint, and I think with the ongoing issues we have had with NAND, even components have been, difficult to get an attention to. But at the scale we are talking about, gigawatt data centers. Power is definitely an issue, and GPUs by nature are power guzzlers. So what we should be focusing on is optimizing every piece of GPU that we get, which is what we are working towards. GPUs are innately very powerful machines. They are capable of doing a lot of computation, and if you're able to, for every watt that you're putting into the GPU, if you're able to squeeze 5% more, 10% more out of the same GPU, at the scale that which GPUs are deployed today, you're able to bring a measurable impact to the world. You're able to make the world 5% greener, 10% greener. A measurable impact comes for every GPU that you're able to do this on, and that is the way we're coming at it from. One, from the power side of it, and of course the cost side of it. The cost for AI deployment for anyone today, I would say, is quite prohibitive. It's not like GPUs are cheap, and of course there are alternative solutions that people are developing. Everyone, I would say, the world in general is moving towards optimizing the setup, and so this is our piece, or we are contributing in a way that we can. We are a storage company, we work on storage technology, so we are contributing in the way we understand or in the technical expertise that we have. This is how we feel like we can make this better or do this in a better way.
Rightly said, Sanjay, and we talked about the partnership you are already having. So tell me, top 3 segment. Data center is one area, enterprise, SMEs. Where do you see the more consumption will happen in next 1-2 years, where you guys are already ready with the solutions?
So what we're trying to do is actually move away from, we are doing a private AI cloud solution. Right? So essentially this will be critical for areas where data privacy is a concern, both in relation to the DPDPA and in general where you have areas of sensitive data, for example, defense, healthcare and BFSI. So there are top 3 verticals. Cloud will happen for the scale of it to make it available to a wider set of people, because not everyone can afford to put GPU on premises. So Techno, our partner, is also working on that.
In current scenario, you can't buy GPU.
Yes. But that's the idea. If you don't have to buy as many, maybe you're thinking thinking I need to buy 20 GPUs for the workload that you're running.
Right.
But we have already fixed that problem here, wherein you might not need 20 GPUs.
True.
Maybe 5, 6, 7 is probably sufficient if you really optimize or squeeze the GPU for all it can do for you. And on the other side of it, of course, our focus is on areas where data security is a very big concern. So, like I said, BFSI, healthcare,
Compliances.
yes, exactly. Wherever data privacy is a necessity, we can either deploy it as a sovereign solution on their premises, or what our partner Techno is able to do is that they're able to isolate rack space or server space in their own data center and make sure that your data stays isolated even on their private cloud.
Right. So means you are whatever the challenges the companies are facing in having a sovereign AI or AI applications running to on premises, on the cloud, you're ready for that.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what we are targeting, because the pain points are several, and I think this is like maybe step 3 or 4 to address. In a 10-step process, you're probably on step 3 or step 4 of understanding the concern. And one of the major ones is that, like I said, the hardware market and the software market is too fragmented.
Correct.
Because typically that is how the software ecosystem has evolved.
Right.
Because you have a hardware platform that you need to build on, or you're building hardware. There is no one that does both of these together.
Right.
So it is also difficult to have a company that does these two things, because fundamentally they're different technologies, the expertise required is different. Or you need to be as big as someone like IBM.
Right.
Yes,
Yes.
So alternatively, you just bring in, we have the expertise in the country, we have the skill set in the country. If you're able to bring the right partnership in, we can really work towards making AI in India truly sovereign.
Right. So last thing, because I can see a lot of partners are visiting and the customers may be potential customers. So I'll just leave you with one more comment. It's not a long journey. It's 1.5 year journey.
Yes.
Right. So how has been the growth so far, and
What
is the future?
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey setting up, MiPhi in India. Like you said, 1.5 almost maybe 2 years if you consider the whole bringing this ecosystem together.
True.
But it's been a lovely journey. The government has been extremely supportive in what we're trying to do here, and of course, bringing this kind of technology to India is not an easy feat. Like, we are working towards actually designing this in India and making sure the drive is truly Indian. Today, we are like maybe halfway there, and because the R&D cycle for any product in the space takes, designing takes 3 years, 4 years, depending on what you're working on. So it is a longer cycle, but the goal, and I think we are well on track to achieve it as well, and we are progressing in a good manner. The goal is on the way to success, and I think we have all the right ecosystem set up. The government, especially with their DLI scheme, has been very supportive. It is helpful, so we are going in that direction as well. So I think the support ecosystem is there. Of course, there are things that we need to take care of on our end as well. But I think the path forward for MiPhi is very clear. The NAND market, of course, has exploded in the last 6 months, which has been sometimes a boon, sometimes a curse, because it's not easy to have these conversations sometimes. But end of the day, the outlook for MiPhi, and I would say that outlook is a microcosm of the Indian ecosystem in general, is that the tech is coming back home. The people are coming back home and trying to build native products in India. We are trying to build that ecosystem here, and I think I meet a lot of people around me as well who are working towards the same goal that we are. So hopefully we are working towards a day where all of this is truly Indian technology.
That's rightly said. I'll just join you in the frame, because you had a lot of information. It was a quick chat, but I guess we are able to pull up a lot of information, and we'll stay connected to give you more information to our readers and our listeners.
Thank you.
Thank you.